Welcome to the January Living Local Financial Friday Community Panel. I'm August, Carolina Trust Brand Ambassador. On last month's panel, we talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions, and one of the biggest resolutions for me every year is to find new ways to give back to the community. So I am joined today with two very special guests, Kathy Jenkins, who is the CEO of New Directions of Horry County, and Blakely Roof, who is the President and CEO of United Way of Horry County, to talk about their nonprofit organizations and some of the different ways that they are impacting our community. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
Yes,
August.
of course. And so I know, you both are extremely involved in your own nonprofits and leading those every day, but to be able to be in the roles that you're in, community service has to, impact your life and be something that you're both super passionate about. How did you each get involved with serving the community?
I started years ago in the school system, and having kids, they were all 4 years apart. They were always in different schools, so doing things and giving back to the community through the school system was the volunteer work that I always participated in. And then once they grew up, and I looked for other ways to get involved in the community, and it's just always been something that I've been passionate about.
Yeah, Blakely, what about you?
So many moons ago, I worked for the Myrtle Beach Area Chamber, and we had the Young Professionals group, and I was involved in Leadership Grand Strand, and they really encouraged employees to get out and serve the community, and so it allowed me to better see what was going out in the community, and so from there I actually left that job and have been in nonprofit work ever since, and just really enjoy the sense of connecting people with resources and seeing those success stories and getting to work, with places like New Directions and all the other wonderful nonprofits we have here.
Yeah, and I love hearing how, people that are so involved in the community, how they first get their start. And I know for me personally, I grew up in high school having to do Beta Club and other things where, it's almost your drug to do community service. And then finding Carolina Trust, who's been serving the community since 1958, and like you said, with the area chamber, put such an emphasis on all of their employees volunteering. We actually, every employee at Carolina Trust got a paid holiday this year to take that day to go and serve the community. And so by having that push with, your company to go out into the community and be a part of these organizations really helps you kind of find your place. And I know you mentioned Leadership Grand Strand. We are all Leadership Grand Strand alumni here, which is exciting. What are some of the other nonprofit organizations or boards and things that you guys are currently a part of, apart from your role as CEO and President and CEO, that you're impacting our community?
Well, we're both part of the Myrtle Beach Coordinated Efforts, which is we meet the third Thursday of the month at 1 o'clock in Myrtle Beach, and it's really.
And you need to say that again because we need all of the community
the third
involved.
Thursday of the month, and it started as a way to tackle homelessness.
Okay.
And then our first meeting, all these people were there, and like Kathy, her organization is homelessness, and all these people go, I didn't even know what New Directions was. So then it turned into what are all these organizations serving in the community, and then it was, okay, people from the community come and learn about what organizations are out there, and so that's a huge part, and we have events. We had an event last night, the Night of Knowledge, where we spoke on, access to resources for substance abuse disorder, mental health, and homelessness, and so I think that's a huge, housing, affordable housing, and all that really plays into a lot of the issues that really any nonprofit, I think, faces these days.
Yeah.
And for us at New Directions, we run 4 homeless shelters.
Yeah.
Well, being homeless is a multifaceted issue.
Right.
And everybody has a different story, and everybody has a different need.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to do everything for everybody, from the very beginning 10 years ago, we decided that we needed to focus on what we did the best and outsource everything else.
Yeah.
And that being said, we have 91 partners in the community.
Wow.
Over half of them are partners through our family shelter, because when we deal with families with children, and the children are 1 day old to 18 years old, there are a lot of different needs in there, and we need a lot of different partners to make that happen. Personally, I'm part of the Myrtle Beach Rotary Club. I served on the board from 2020 to 2022, and we all know what a challenge.
Yeah, and I cannot wait to learn more about your different organizations and let people at home know more about them so that hopefully they can get involved. And we'll do that when we come back from the break. Welcome back to the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. Before the break, we were talking to Kathy Jenkins, who is the CEO of New Directions of Horry County, and Blakely Ruth, who is the president and CEO of United Way, about the different ways that they are serving the community. And I know a lot of people in our area are looking for ways to serve. So with that being said, Kathy, will you tell us a little bit about New Directions and what you guys do as an organization?
Well, August, we do a lot.
I'm sure.
But we start with shelter.
Okay.
So we operate the 4 homeless shelters. I don't know how many people know that there are 4 homeless shelters in the city limits of Myrtle Beach. And we focus on what we do the best. We provide food, shelter, safety off the streets. We provide hope and an opportunity for change. So in each of our shelters, we are running a program that really focuses on how to get people back on their feet. And in many instances, it's about recovery.
Yeah.
Everybody who is homeless is recovering from something. So our classes are based on the 12 steps, evidence-based, learning to live again.
Yeah.
And so our peer support specialists teach classes, our case managers connect people with the resources, the partners that we have in the community, and we help people become successful, whatever that looks like, but getting back on their feet, being active members of the community.
Yeah.
And it's great.
And
it's
I
a great
love that.
thing.
I love that, it's easy to give someone exactly what they need. You need a home, we'll give you shelter. But by doing that, you don't really give them the skills to be able to move from a temporary, shelter back into life and, into an active member of our community. So I love that there are so many different programs that you guys are doing at New Directions to help people not only get what they need in their current space, but have things that they need to be able to grow. And I know, as you're in your role at New Directions, you're super involved in overseeing all of that. How did you actually get started with New Directions in the first place?
Well, it's an absolutely crazy story. There's a steering committee trying to determine what are we going to do? What are we going to do to find a way to be more efficient and effective in the way we deliver services to the homeless in the community? And they thought they had it all figured out with transportation.
Yeah.
Well, I was running a nonprofit transportation organization and providing 5,000 free rides a year.
Wow.
And I got invited in to talk to them about transportation. I got hired. So, and it was a longer process than that. But,
Right.
but they were interested in talking with me, and so I was hired. I had an expertise in transportation. I had a background in banking and finance.
Yeah.
And guess what? We still don't have transportation figured out 10 years later, but we are working on
Yeah.
it. We have come up with some really unique ways to provide transportation for our clients,
Yeah.
but that is still one of our major issues.
Well, and other people, that see all the great work that you are doing in the community and want to get involved, what are some of the ways that they can get involved and help at New Directions in your different shelters?
Well, we need volunteers in every area. Probably the biggest volunteer opportunity that we have is in our men's shelter kitchen, because in our kitchen we provide 3 meals a day. We provide that evening dinner meal to anybody in the community who's hungry. We have different groups from all over the community that come in and they cook, they serve, they bring food, they use food that we already have,
Yeah.
but however they want to do that, each group does it in a little different way.
Right.
We are always looking for groups to commit to doing that because it's a huge it's a huge responsibility and takes a lot of people.
It is, and you get so much out of it too. I know several groups from Leadership Grand Strand went in and cooked meals, and when you serve, I feel like everyone that serves, says that you end up getting just as much out of it as you give to the people. And so I know, in order to keep something like this running, there has to be fundraising, and as a nonprofit, what are some of the different big fundraisers that New Directions does throughout the year to have the funding that they need?
Well, August, we said in the very beginning we wanted one big signature fundraiser.
Yeah. And I can't wait to hear a little bit more about that when we come back from our break.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Financial Friday Community Panel. Before the break, we were talking to Kathy about some of the big events that they do throughout the year for fundraising for New Directions.
August, we are in our 8th year of our biggest fundraiser, and that's Compassion Through Fashion.
Yeah.
People love the event, and it's a whole lot of fun.
It is. It's so much fun.
It's a wonderful fashion show. It is a unique fashion show where people in the community come out and they design an outfit from recyclable materials. They can use anything they want except glitter.
Yep.
And they have a model that walks the runway, and we give awards, and it's just incredible. Every year, we cannot believe that it's going to be, that it can be better than last year, but it always seems that it is.
I had the honor of being a judge at Compassion Through Fashion
Tough
this past
job.
year. Gosh, talk about a tough job. It was so difficult, and I was absolutely amazed. One of the best parts about being a judge is, they come through before and explain all of the details, so you kind of get a little bit more information about the details of their designs, and I was absolutely blown away. And then I know y'all started a new fundraiser last year as well.
We did. We go over the edge for our clients every single day, and now we go over the edge of the 17-story Avista Resort. So we partner with a company out of Canada, and we are going over the edge for the second time on February 25th.
Oops,
we
it's coming
still
up.
have registration spots open, so go on our website, register. It's the most incredible experience. I never thought I would do it, but how can I not do it when I'm the CEO?
Wow.
So it was amazing. I cannot wait to do it again.
I cannot imagine, and I know that's such a thrilling thing for so many people that are getting to do it. So be sure to go and grab your spot before those fill up.
Absolutely, and it is a rappelling event. So you are rappelling over the building. I didn't say that, over the edge. How are they going over the edge?
Right, you're not jumping,
So
you are rappelling.
No, you are rappelling.
Well, and Blakely, I know the United Way is celebrating their 50th anniversary this year, so I know you've got lots of great events. But before we hop into those, tell us about the United Way of Horry County and kind of how they got their start here 50 years ago.
Sure. So I always like to let people know that all United Ways are totally separate from each other. So we're locally run, our money is raised locally and stays locally, and all the United Ways have their own objectives. So about a year and a half ago, we did a community needs assessment. We got about 5,000 responses. We did community conversations to really find out what are the most pressing needs in Horry County. Yeah. What are the programs that are doing those? Where are the gaps, and how can we kind of fill in? And so from that, our main focus now is access to mental health resources, 0 to 5 kindergarten readiness, and helping those achieve self-sufficiency. So we stay pretty busy with that, and then we also help on the basic needs fronts as well. But those are areas that we really feel like make people be able to thrive throughout their life.
Yeah, for sure. And so what are some of the different ways that, you say all of the funding is done here in our area and goes back to our area to be able to meet those needs? What are some of the big ways that you all receive those funds and different fundraisers that, you do to grow our local United Way?
So most United Ways, and we're no different, our biggest source of income is through employee campaigns. So businesses will offer it as a option for employees to give part of their paycheck pre-tax, and then those are collected through us, so they'll pledge to us and we'll collect those over the year. We've been fortunate to receive some grants specific for some of our initiatives, and then of course, community donations, corporate donations, and things like that. We are having a 50th anniversary celebration in May, which we don't typically hold events, and so that will be a fundraiser as well, and we're really excited to showcase all the work we've done in 50 years.
As one of the nonprofits that we are kind of focusing on this year, so it has been great to see, the impact that you all have on our community for folks who don't know. And I know in both of your roles, you see community impact in the way that community service impacts people every day. What are some of the major ways that you have seen through your role that our community has been impacted?
I mean, I think that, since I know in the last few years we've had, major hurricanes, we've had a pandemic, and as nonprofits, we're worried, oh my gosh, does this mean all the money dries up? And to see the support of the community members that are able to still give, whether it be financially or through their time, in our case has been really absolutely wonderful.
Thank you both for the work that you're doing in our community and giving back. And I hope you guys have learned some different ways that you can give back to our community today. Thank you so much for watching the Living Local Carolina Financial Friday Community Panel. We'll see you next time.